S-rank support. Black or Red Moon. Chapter 3.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the S-Rank Support Podcast, Constant Calibrating's brand new Fire Emblem show. Is it still brand new? This is episode 3. Also, we recorded the first episode 3 weeks before episode 2 and 3. It's a thing. But that's right. As you probably know by this point, we decided instead of hijacking every Constant Calibrating podcast to discuss Fire Emblem, we would just give it its own show. Possibly a limited series. Got 7 episodes planned. Let's see where it goes. I'm your host, Josh Silverman, joined by my A-Rank co-host, Justin Stanley.
Charmed, I'm sure.
So yeah, this episode, we are primarily going to be focusing on the audio and visual design of the game. It might be a little bit on the shorter episodes because of that, but hopefully it's enjoyable. We are going to be talking about the audio visual design of the game, as well as so how cutscenes are done, how diversity of maps, the school itself, even how jobs look and the feel of them, and those little nuances and stuff that we did or did not notice. So we're going to get a lot of wrong here.
Yeah, we are. It's been a minute.
But that being said, the first thing I keep thinking about is that this game with the support conversations, as always when I think about when people discuss the visual style of the game, it's weird. I go to the support stuff. That might be because I commissioned a friend to draw me like a Fire Emblem character, and that's all I can think about is the support class conversation. So the one thing I think about with those conversations is, whether it's pre-time skip or post-time skip, you have you have character A on one side, character B on another side, and then you have the background. And what I think about when I think about the background is particularly with the cafeteria setting, but all of them, instead of being this one cohesive background like this behind me, it's like comes at a weird angle where it doesn't look. It looks like a really bad panoramic shot from a low quality camera. For how good looking the game is overall, the support class stuff. I'm sorry to talk negative right off the bat, but the support classes, the backgrounds just look janky as all hell.
No, that's
that is the official term.
Most of them, because it's a freeze frame that they stretched pretty much to the point, even areas where there's candles that flicker, they don't flicker. The support chat.
Yeah, it's almost seriously. It's almost like the support chats. Seriously, I said seriously twice one sentence. It feels to me like somebody took some medieval magic camera, tried to do a panoramic shot, and then just said, "Okay, we're just gonna put this up behind us as a place to talk." So
I understand it, because most games that do this type of narrative storytelling, which usually I've said this before, this type of storytelling usually pushes me off of games. And off a lot of JRPGs. But most of them is just a static shot, not exactly a scene, just showing the location you're at. It's usually just stills of a character with different expressions. What Fire Emblem does, and this might be what brought me a little more into it, or a little more engaged. Not only, they do the static shot, but they try to actually make that a set. And on top of having a portrait of the character's facial reaction, they also had a 3D model also acting out the scene.
Sure. That may be the case. All I know is... So you, as you said, you have the expression change, like 4 or 5 different expressions of different emotional states of the characters, with the dialogue, with the characters sort of quasi lip-syncing over a background that is static as all hell. And oddly enough, I did find it very engaging overall. Mostly I just got locked in on that background in certain scenes when I just was really watching the game, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like,
I try not to focus on it.
Well, it's a problem of the, again, so we talked about in the last episode how, and I think actually most episodes we've talked about the fact of how I grind out levels and stuff like that, and what I would do, and I would just keep doing the 0 battle point stuff to do levels. So what that also happen is I would switch around who was doing stuff. I would have certain characters do this battle near each other to raise support things, and then I have different characters. And I would seriously do 20, 30 of these. So what would happen is when I got to the next week, all of a sudden, I would hop into the support level area, and Bila particularly would have like 11 support conversations. And then all of my people would have the ones. So I would just very suddenly be like in this position where it's like, I guess I have to do literally everyone's C-level conversation right now in the entire freaking game. Cool. Or at least everyone who I've had unlocked at this point. So it would get to the point that after 10 or so of these, I would just be like, I couldn't not notice every imperfection of what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the support conversations. I think this is how some of the stories presented too. Like anything that's not a cutscene,
true,
or happening in the same space. Like when you're walking around the school and all that stuff. Like those kind of just happen in place. But yeah, everywhere else, main story beats, it's same difference.
Anything that's not a true 3D model, so anything that uses the same mechanic of this support conversation, so intros to battles, stuff like that, they just don't. I think it's the indoor locations that make it more prevalent.
It definitely is.
Because the outdoor ones don't quite give that weird panoramic effect. The indoor ones, it's like it's dark, so I feel like you see all the different curvatures of the shadows.
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree with that. Like, I don't seem to mind it as much if it's an outdoor shot.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just one thing. Like that's actually one of my few grievances in the entire freaking game. So. And again, it's just because I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I'm enjoying this game, but oh my god, I am 11 support conversations deep, and I've got at least 8 more to go. And it's 3:00 in the morning. What have I done? Why have I chosen this life? Kind of hits me. And I think back to that now, and I'm like, I'm playing to start a new Fire Emblem game, and I know I shouldn't spend so much time in the first half of the game where it's essentially borderline the exact same game, but dagnammit. I'm gonna make the exact same choices because I can't not, because it's how my brain's wired. But
same.
Yeah. Otherwise, the game is gorgeous. One of the promises of the game from the trailers and from what people talked about was that this is essentially was going to be JRPG anime Harry Potter. And you definitely get that out of the actual, like, real cutscenes. The shots when you're first meeting Sothis, or when you are first, the first unveiling of certain characters or things like that, or those kind of things. The game is beautiful. These very, very nicely well done. I mean, just that opening cutscene alone, I must have taken like 20, 30 screenshots during. Just because of different ways the play of light is. It's just it felt like I would love to actually see this converted into like an actual like Crunchyroll anime.
Oh yeah, definitely. It easily could. God, the animation style on the main cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if this was anime, it would annoy me, but this one not so much because it's a video game. Everybody who's seen like the season 2 Berserk knows what I'm talking about. Like it's like because they went with 3D model type thing. I mean, same thing with like Rooster Teeth using Ruby and stuff like that. That it so off put me that I prefer traditional animation, but I know how much harder that is to do. That's like especially because more so with Berserk. Sorry, we're getting here because the first season of Berserk was a long time ago, and that was like hand drawn animation, so it's definitely had its own charm. But again, like this is actually a video game, so I didn't mind it as much, and they did a good job with it too.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily aside from Volume 1 of Ruby is the only time it ever really bugged me. I've never really been bothered by that style of animation.
Oh, and that's mainly because I think they used Poser. I forget if they moved on from there. I imagine they did.
Yeah, they did. I never really saw much past the mid Volume 2, but it looked different and better and higher quality from that point moving forward. From every time I've ever seen a still or like a trailer or something like that.
Yeah, that reminds me. I was going to say something about the Switch screenshot. I keep forgetting that feature is there, except when I accidentally hit it. Like I mean to go like for select instead, and I end up hitting screenshot instead.
Yeah, I mean that was dating ourselves on this recording, but that was my favorite thing about the Kind of Funny Intersite tournament was all the people not knowing how to use a Switch who would just continuously take pictures in front of a live audience.
Oh yeah.
I know, but like that's always the thing about the Switch. For me, I started using that feature quite a few games ago. I became obsessed with that feature with Mario Odyssey because I literally took a picture on my console of every moon I collected. I don't know why, but that just makes sense. It turned into a thing that I did. So now when I'm playing games in general, it was mostly just that kind of stuff. And I think with like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I took a picture of every time my I had like a new character that I liked debuted, like those little title cards. But then with Fire Emblem, it just became like, oh, this is a cool shot. Oh, this is a cool shot. Like that kind of thing. Like I'm actually curious to look into it because like it was the first time with a game that it wasn't just like, oh, I want to remember this goofy ass thing. It actually turned into let me just take pictures of the game. And I'm looking through it now. Like I've got different like little clips of different scenes.
No, it makes sense. It's just like with the PlayStation 4 that takes a snapshot every time you get a trophy.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, yeah, no, it's definitely that kind of mentality of playing it. Like I'm just looking right now, like at all the weird shit that I'm actually trying to find the filter feature to see. I have 101 things for Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Ooh.
And it looks like the first 20 are from chapter 1 or earlier. Like, also, apparently I took a picture every single time Petra was my MVP. Or she won one of the tournaments because Petra is love, Petra is life.
We're so proud of Petra. Don't matter what you do. We're proud of her. I did it. I think I accidentally took one, but slightly purposely when Birdie finally hit an MVP.
No, that's a good one to do.
It did, and afterwards she just kept hitting MVP because I was just using her to snipe everybody.
Makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, I apparently took some pictures of some different conversations. So yeah. Anyway, so the reason we're kind of like going long on this is I hit this point where I was just like, okay, I actually really like the visual of this game, so I'm going to keep taking pictures and taking shots of things. So one of the like visual discussion is the characters' looks. So you have we have our characters and the spoilers. There's a 5-year time skip, and your characters come back 5 years older. Everyone except for yourself, pretty much. And yeah, so of course they changed the outfits, and it's funny because it's like I'm looking like there's just some characters that I just look at, and I'm just like, oh, I liked you before, but like, ooh, your new outfit is just fire. I absolutely love it. I'm trying to find his you could tell I'm a little bit out from playing the game because I'm actually blanking on characters' names. Linhardt, there it is. His revised, I didn't like his first look, but his revised look when he came back after time skip, I was like, okay, wasn't planning to make my main character gay on this game, but I'm considering it right now.
There you go.
Came back very cute.
Oh yeah. Most of them did.
Most of them, yeah.
There's some characters, though, like, I think there's a story beat that can actually change their looks. I know there's a character, I know which character it is, too, that actually comes back and can come back with an eye patch.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to find out if that is specifically... So, I'm going to find out in the playthrough. I'm trying to find out if that is specifically that route, or that's a choice that can be made.
Yeah. Because
I've seen it both ways.
That being said, one thing is kind of like this has actually nothing to do with what we just said. When you get your new class and they get a new outfit, I kind of hate when it goes to a cutscene, especially when they're on battle and they're just back in their uniform.
I mean, that's just part of a lot of RPGs.
That's me nitpicking. But.
No, but that's an RPG thing in general, where it's like they don't want to obviously animate every last outfit, so your character has their cutscene. It's almost like wrestling games, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your character has their cutscene outfit that they're wearing in every cutscene, but then when you snap right back to it, they're just in their wrestling attire, which or in this case their class outfits. So, no, I mean it's a nitpicky thing, but it's a logical nitpicky thing, particularly when you get a cutscene in the middle of a battle. It's
those
like
are more so the one.
What's up?
Yeah, those are more so the ones that like go, because I'm not going to change out and then change back, and
Yeah, it's like if that's why I actually really liked having Petra as an assassin, because Petra's assassin outfit is the same as her normal outfit. So it's just like cool. So and I think there's actually a lot of that in the game where people's normal outfits that they have are actually class specific outfits.
Yeah, I know Felix is the Swordmaster one. I think he sticks with that for a couple of ones. I think Hubert actually does keep the Black Mage in his later look.
Yes. Yeah, so there's a lot of those. I think Hubert's is like the Dark Mage, not the Dark Bishop. So like that's essentially, I think, the game's way of telling you like, hey, this is actually the way you should be going on this. If you want to have some visual cohesion, but also, you know, again, it's a JRPG where shit gets wacky-o.
It do.
But ultimately, like, I remember not liking a lot of the visual styles of character outfits for what was it, Fire Emblem Fates. I remember not being a huge fan. Actually, Awakening as well. Not that I ever really looked that closely because the game didn't let us get quite up close with them. But with this game, you know, we can wander the school, so we're seeing everyone's normal outfits all the time. But then also like just literally going into battle, you can zoom in so freaking far, as we talked about. I think I don't remember what podcast, but we talked about similar to, what is it, Valkyria Chronicles style, where you could get all the way up in on person and like plan out their movements that way. So it's like you can actually really truly see what your characters look like in battle. Yeah,
which I remember I talked to you about that too. It's like, did you know you could actually move around when you're in that view, like Valkyria Chronicles? Like when you move past a certain square, it spends your action points.
It surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah, you're like, I thought that was just for screenshots.
I thought that was photo mode. I thought that was literally the game's version of photo mode. So... But this game actually allows you to get closer, so I get a better idea of characters. All I know is it was funny because I leveled up characters very fast, as we've talked about. Bernie hit this point where it's like, story-wise, she's like, I still don't, can I leave my room? I don't want to go into battle. And at that point, she'd already had like 130 kills. And it was like an advanced, she was like, I think I had her as almost a bow knight, maybe not quite a bow knight yet. I think, no, I had her as a paladin because the route I took her on, I didn't take her on the archer route. I had her go, because her budding talent was riding, so I had her go cavalier to paladin. So I had her to paladin. She's on a horse in this thick-ass, gigantic armor, and she's talking about, well, what if somebody hurts me? And it's like, you literally are doing backflips on a fucking horse in full plate mail. You're good, girl. You're good.
You're good. Oh, so the conversations and stuff, this is not what we're supposed to be talking about, but some of them got me after the jump. Like, I think one in particular, God, I can't think of their names now.
Give me some details. I can help you out.
Cherry White Knight.
Cherry White Knight. That's not good information.
Comedy. Always wearing a cape with the white armor.
Oh.
Has a goatee.
Oh, shit. God damn, your older brother character that you can apparently also be romantic. What the fuck is his name? It begins with an A.
No, not Albert. Alexander?
Alois.
Alois. It is Alois. And Mexi Archer Girl.
Shamir.
Schmear, thank you. See, I know there's an S in there. So they have a conversation before the time jump. And then, like, after time jump, Alois goes, like, I was thinking about that conversation we had. I'm like, you mean the one y'all had 5 years ago?
Well, that's how, like, almost all of the B-class story things are, where it's continued.
They don't account for time jump until they get to their later stuff.
But like no, a lot of the B class. So you can't do any of the B class stuff until you hit the time jump. Is how the game works. And there are a lot of different story things where it's just like I spent a lot of years thinking about that conversation we had 5 years ago. The one about and it's like such an innocuous conversation. I'm like, you mean the one about should I go take a shit before lunch? Like level conversation. That's been on your mind for 5 years. So there's a lot of I feel like a lot of the story conversation stuff was written before they decided that they would lock you in that you couldn't do stuff till the 5 year jump, and then they just had to add some additional dialogue.
Yeah,
because it just continued. No, there's some interesting stuff like that. Speaking of the 5 year jump, so we talked about characters getting new outfits and designs and stuff like that. Overall, I like just about everyone's outfit design. I'm bothered by the fact that none of the teachers got different outfits. I mean, I realize that, going
different outfits did not age.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so the students...
Granted, it's in that... They're probably at that age where 5 years doesn't take as much as a toll.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, going from like 15 to 17, jumping up into your mid-20s, that's a major, for both the outfit, that's a style change, and then also visually, you grow a lot. But for the characters who are in their 20s or even their 30s or their 40s, 5 years may not be the most pronounced, like, visual change for you. And then also, Alois is, a heavy knight style guy. He's not going to really change his look. Shamir is this, mercenary archer. She's probably not going to change her look. But at the same time, it's like I wish there was some change. Again, maybe not like a visual like thing, but like some little change or quirk, because it actually made me go from Shamira was one of my main characters pre-time skip to I just stopped using her almost. Because I was like, well, I want to see all my pretty students.
Yeah, the students are so pretty. Yeah, she became one of my supports, or adjutant.
Adjutant.
I don't think that's right either, but okay.
No, adjutant.
Okay.
Adjutant, yeah. We do words good here at Constant Calibrating.
Oh, we sure do.
Yeah, so, which I honestly mostly use that system, less to level up characters, and more to just do, like, support conversations than anything.
I mean, except for that, I also use them to, so they don't fall behind.
Again,
or too far behind.
I just got to the point that I just didn't care about using anyone other than my main students, so it just became a non-issue. Like, we're getting on a completely different topic than our main thing, but at one point I decided, you know what? According to the game, it looks like Felix has something to do with the storyline involving his dad later on, and I've not used him, so I am just going to literally level this guy up hardcore because I want him to be part of this story thing. So, like, other than moments like that, I just focused on my main students primarily.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I do too. I imagine that's what I'm going to do with the rest of my playthroughs.
I keep hearing from people for future playthroughs, like, just don't spend as much time in Act 1 because it's a lot of the same stuff. And I'm like, okay, but hear me out. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, me too. But all honestly, like, I didn't recruit a ton of people, and I'm fine with that. And in my future playthroughs, I'm probably just going to recruit Petra, and that's about it.
Yeah, I found that I recruited everyone except I could have apparently recruited Hilda. There's just a very specific way on the Black Eagles to recruit her.
I was trying really hard.
Yeah, I guess
that one support mission I did with her.
Yeah, I guess you have to take her through what the fuck is it called? You have to take her through to lunch and stuff like that to build up your support a bunch before you can actually gift her stuff. And things of that nature. So I just assumed because I couldn't gift her that she just wasn't recruitable and moved along with my life. But yeah, otherwise, I think that actually somehow...
That sounds a lot like my personal dating life.
Jeez. Jesus Christ. I think that covers actually most of what we wanted to talk about on this episode, which actually did last a good amount of time.
We had the graphics, we hit a bit of the audio design, we're all good.
Yeah, I mean, I like this. So yeah, I like the dialogue in the game. I like the conversational stuff. Music in the game is gorgeous overall. Set the tone nicely. The mix of just when you're going from preparation to oh shit, you're actually like in battle mode with people. Like it shifted very nicely, the audio. So it worked out really well. It set the tone, made me feel what I was supposed to be feeling. What else? Yeah, just in general. I generally like this game, and I like how it looks, and I like how it feels. I think that's really just what it boils down to. As I said, when we first started this out, this is probably going to be a slightly shorter episode anyways, just to the subject matter, so I'm good with this.
Oh, same here.
So, as as you guys may know, these first 3 episodes were recorded before we ever released any, so, at this point, if you have thoughts, comments, questions, things related to the show, things we need to tweak, things we need to not do, things we need to do, let us know in the comments where you find this or on any other social media platform or our Discord. And the show will evolve. We have a planned 7-episode arc for our first part of the series before we explore if we're going to continue it forward. Beyond that, hope you guys enjoyed it. That being said, thank you all for joining us this week. The S-Rank Support Podcast will be released every week on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever else you may find podcasts. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/constantcalibrating, Twitter at ConcalPod. I'm at Bear Punch. Justin is at Justin_glorious. Check out Instagram at instagram.com/constantcalibrating. Come chat with us on Discord, constantcalibrating.com/Discord. And as always, please leave us a review on iTunes and wherever else you may find the show. The first month of a show like this, and it's essentially the first 88 days, is when that algorithm is working the hardest, and it's when stuff is the most discoverable, and we can actually appear on the new and hot and kind of thing. So reviews help more than I can put into words. So if you enjoyed the show, drop us those 5 stars, and let's keep chatting Fire Emblem. Also lets us know if you're actually enjoying what you're listening to.
Please do.
Watching. Please do. With that, thank you for a perfect tea time. I don't have a teacup. Sorry.
Tink.